Good morning, everyone. Happy March. So happy to see you today. Welcome you joining today's class, Power of Preparedness. I'm Pauline Lam from Kota Realty, your 2021 Co-Chair Education Committee, San Gabriel Valley Realtors. A friendly reminder, all participants will be muted, and should you have any questions, please enter it into the chat box. Sylvia will help to read the question, and speaker will answer it during the Q&A section. This meeting is recorded and will be available on the YouTube channel, Western Gabriel Valley Realtors. Now it's my pleasure to invite our Education Committee Co-Vice Chair, Ms. Sylvia Rosich, to introduce our very, very special speaker, Ms. Connie Meyer. Sylvia, it's your time.
Good morning, Pauline. Good morning, everyone. Today, we have a great pleasure to bring to you all, as we always do, bring you the best of the best. Today, we have Connie Myers. She's an LMC, CBLC, CDC, crisis management specialist, and a leadership clarity strategist. Has spent over 40 years supporting thousands of individuals and businesses. Her unique background and combined with her expertise as a FEMA inspector and trainer give her all the encompassing perspective for creating this certification. She saw a need to educate and prepare as many individuals as possible for all disasters. And so CKM Solutions Group was born. Connie has helped taken the National Home Inspection Company, now known as Win Home Inspections, and online ed from the local marketers to having a national presence. Connie is a founder of CKM Solutions Group, as well as Crystalline, Moment, Success, Moment, and Kick Butt Leadership. She is an international best-selling author, speaker, and trainer. Her current work includes her new book, When the Unthinkable Happens, Be Prepared, Be Ready. Connie is also a co-author of Leadership in Trying Times. So let's welcome Connie to the podium. Good morning, Connie. The microphone is all yours.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me on, and I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to share with you what I have learned about disasters and other crises. So let me just pull up my presentation here, just 1 second, so I can share it with you. And what I can tell you is that, what I can tell you is that disasters are obviously on the rise. And I can also share with you the fact that that background, thank you, Sylvia, for that great introduction, that really does encompass everything that I've done in my life. I spent some time, I had 4 insurance agencies also. So everything I've done in my life has brought me to now. I didn't realize it here a few months ago, but I really looked back at everything I'd done, and it was all designed for me to create this program called Crisis Knowledge Management Certification. I think as I go through this today, you're going to see what a major impact this can have on your community, on your business, as well as how you can make a true difference. My vision is to have 30 million people over the next 5 years be better prepared for disasters. So that's a pretty ambitious, let me hide this panel here, pretty ambitious goal. And the best way to do that is through the help of realtors just like yourselves. So thank you so much for letting me share with you my passion and my belief in why and how this can happen. So first of all, once you go through the CKM certification program, you become what I call a CKM advisor. And I think that John Kennedy says it the best. When written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of 2 characters. One represents danger, the other represents opportunity. I can tell you that as a CKM advisor, and as I'm going through this presentation today, I want you to put hat on that says you're a CKM advisor and think about how it could impact your family, your business, your community, and what a difference you could make. So to become, why would you want to become a CKM advisor? Well, first of all, you're going to create a supportive and uplifting environment for your business as well as your clients in your community. And by educating those around you, you are saying that you care. You're saying that you want to help others, which isn't that what being a realtor is all about. You can provide potentially life-saving information and help those in your community save financially. You can help life-saving, you can help financially, and you can also help with real property being saved. So be a reliable source within your community. You also are going to set yourself apart by being a trusted advisor. And who are those people going to turn to first when they need answers for something? They're going to come to you. And when they need your services, who are they going to call? They're going to call you because they know you care about them and that you care about your community. Here are some of the benefits of becoming a CKM advisor. Oops, too far. First of all, once you receive your CKM certification, which is really just going through the course and taking the test, you have access to a course I call How to Persevere in Troubling Times, that you can customize based upon the risk that might be in your community for both natural as well as man-made disasters. And then you can go out and you can either virtually teach it virtually, you can teach it one-on-one to clients, you can teach it as a big organization, you can take it to the chamber, other civic organizations, your church, your schools, and truly make an impact on preparedness for your community. I also have written a book called When the Unthinkable Happens, Be Prepared, Be Ready, that you have the opportunity of putting a chapter in that book that talks about why you want to become a CKM advisor, why you wanted to be a realtor, why you were working with the organization you're working with, and truly have people understand. And after having 5 best-selling books, I can tell you there's no better marketing tool than having a book that you're a co-author in. We also provide you with a branded toolkit that you can offer out to your community that has forms and information that you can give out that has your contact information on it. We also provide all types of marketing collateral, flyers, and that sort of thing. The handbook that when you are teaching the course, can be customized to match the needs for your area. And then we also provide ongoing education. Like this month, we're going to be talking about storms, both spring and hot storms and cold storms, because across the country, it depends on where you are, what kind of a storms are going to affect you over the next couple of months. We also have other ongoing up-to-date information we share as we get it in from the agencies as well as from other reliable resources. We also have a resource page that's going to keep you up to date. Oh, wait a minute here. Let me disable this. There we go. The resource center that you can go on to, and if you have a question about something or you need a particular form, we have a lot of those on the resource page. We have flyers and you have the logos of things that you can use that are also available on that page. And when there is a disaster that strikes, you have the full support of the CKM advisors, not just in your community, but throughout the country, and the leadership of CKM Solutions to help you and support you in whatever your community needs. So you're part of a giant team. So the reason why we need to do this, well, disasters are truly on the rise. This is broken down by decades. So from 1980 to 89, there were 286 disasters. And these are over $1 billion disasters, by the way. The next decade, it more than doubled to 737. And then it went up, it almost doubled again to 1,266 to 2009. It finally went down a little bit in 2010 and 19, down to 1,186. That's not much of a drop, but it was a little bit of a drop. In 2020, there were over 300 declared disasters. And we only know or can only guess what's going to happen, but they're not going to go down, that's for sure. So what were the costs from 1980 to 2016? It was $1.2 trillion. You look at 2018 and 19, there were 28 disasters that resulted in $1.75 trillion. That's just a 2-year period. When we look at billion-dollar incidents, so I just looked this up this morning, and right now the record for 2020, it broke the previous record of 16 annual events that were over $1 billion. 2020 had 22 events that were over $1 billion, and that's not counting the pandemic or any man-made disasters. They average about $33 billion per year. So as I said, 1980 to 2019, the cost was $1.75 trillion or $44 billion per year. If you look at 2015 to 2019, 5 years, it jumped to $106 billion per year. If we look at the last 3 years of those years, it jumped to $152 billion per year. And again, this is just natural disasters. So the cost every year is just rising significantly. So far in 2020 for natural, and again, this is just natural, it's over 95 billion, but we're still paying for the losses. So we don't know where those dollars are going to end up just for 2020 alone. The effect on individuals and communities are enormous. If 2020 did not prove that, nothing will. I mean, take into account everything that's happened to human life. Well over 500,000 people lost their lives to the pandemic. You take into account the number of people that lost their lives for hurricanes and other tornadoes and other fires and other disasters. It's had a huge impact on the human life. And the economy, we still don't really know the impact of 2020 yet on what the total economy impact is going to be. And then look at our environment and look at the ecology around us. All those fires in the Western United States, there were 3 towns in Oregon that were completely destroyed by fires last year, just like Paradise was a couple of years ago. The psychological impacts, we certainly don't know at this point, the psychological impacts that the pandemic has had. But you take that and you take somebody that's going through the fires or the hurricanes or the tornadoes that happened last year, the psychological impacts of disasters is absolutely astronomical. And then the social impacts, being isolated for the pandemic is proving to us that there's major social impacts that it's going to have. And that doesn't matter whether we're talking individuals or our communities. So as a CCAM advisor, you can help to prevent some of that. Over 60% of Americans believe that they are going to be impacted by a disaster over the next 3 to 5 years. And yet less than 35% have a disaster kit or evacuation plan. And only 15% have a financial plan. And I can tell you that 35%, if they may have 1 emergency kit or they may have 2 emergency kits, but I can guarantee you that hardly anybody has 4 emergency kits, which is what is needed. How does this affect the real estate market? Well, Realty Track had a report they came out with in 2015. I know that's quite dated, but I have not been able to find a more recent update to that. At that time, 43% of homes in the US are at high risk or very high risk. Think about that. It's almost 50% from some form of disaster. That accounts for 35.8 million homes in 2015 with a value of 6.6 at that time, $trillion. Today, the value is over 11 trillion. And I can tell you that number of homes, it's probably up at least 30% that are at high risk or very high risk, just because of the impact of disasters that are happening right now. So first of all, how is that going to impact your market? Well, how often disasters happen, how often fires happen, how often floods happen, how often for your area, how often earthquakes happen, all man-made disasters, what kind of man-made situations might be in your community that may impact disasters. Insurance, a lot of times, like for example, in the areas where there's high fire, either there is no insurance available, or if it is, it's sometimes as much as 100% more expensive than it was before the disaster. You may not be able to qualify for a mortgage because a lot of times the credit score is raised, the down payments are made higher, the interest rates are higher. You may not be able to work because your home was damaged or destroyed. All those things impact qualifying for a mortgage. Climate change, the fact that there's major water, they're now looking at the flood maps, all of that impacts the market. And then delinquencies, foreclosures, inventory, as you all know, are having a major impact right now on the market. Home values are typically higher at high risk or very high risk because of the desirability of the area. 40% of the world population lives in coastal communities. So think about as the water rises, how that's going to impact everybody. The effect on property values. The things you need to take into consideration when you're looking at helping somebody is climate change. How is climate change going to affect that property? What kind of type of disasters are in the area? What is the risk for future disasters? Things like fire. Fires are totally on the rise. They don't have final numbers yet, but the statistics are pretty huge as far as the number of future fires that are going to happen. Partially damaged properties and the extent of the damage, all of that affects the values of the properties. How much is covered by insurance? So if some properties are not covered by insurance, are they going to be able to be repaired? Is the seller going to be able to qualify for the loans or things that might be necessary to fix it if they don't have the money? if properties are completely destroyed, how does the appraiser come out and give you an assessment of what those properties were worth? Or if there's a high amount of damage to a property, again, determining the quality and the condition. All of those things affect property values. And then, as you all know, it has a major impact on your business. Just look at the pandemic, the emotional impact that it's had. If it's something like a fire or an earthquake, you have the loss of records. You have clients that are in crisis. It doesn't matter whether they're sellers or buyers, they are in crisis, and you as a CQM advisor can be their shoulder to lean on. Damage to homes, contracts in limbo. I'm sure you've all experienced some of that. Insurance and government claims take time. They don't happen overnight. And then mortgage availability and whatever damages to the community. That all has a major impact on your business. But as a CQM advisor, you can lower the risk to your business and have a major impact in a very positive manner. So the first course in the certification is about overview and preparedness of how to be prepared for disasters. And why is preparedness so important? Well, first of all, it's really important that you have the right mindset. We've all seen on TV people that say, oh my God, my life is destroyed. My home is gone. Everything is gone. What am I going to do? And then you have the other people that say, we lost our home, but we have our lives. We can rebuild. Now, which mindset do you think is most beneficial when it comes to preparing for disasters? That's what creates that resilient mindset. And we'll be talking about more of that in a second. It gives you more time. If you're prepared, I have a friend who lived in Malibu. She has a real estate company, and she was born and raised there. Her mom lived in their family home, and during the fires, it was destroyed. People that were in her office had their homes either damaged or destroyed. And she and her husband and two little girls got the knock on the door in the middle of the night and said, you have 15 minutes to get out. She said she spent the first 7 or 8 minutes of that spinning around in a circle trying to think about what to take. And when they got to the shelter, she took nothing for her little girls. So having time to be, once you're prepared, having time to know what you're going to grab and what you're going to do. Also, first responders are not the police and the fire people that show up and the FEMA people. They are your neighbors. So you have to be self-sufficient, and as a neighborhood come together and be self-sufficient. As a CQM advisor, you are the perfect person to help them do that. And again, when it comes time for your services, who are they going to call? What do you need to be prepared? Well, emergency kits. And as I said, 4 of them, we talk about that. We also talk about all the different plans that you need to have, and to have a list of everything you need to take so you don't forget anything, because your mind is going to go blank. Know the emergency alerts and where those are, and know how to access them and the whens. You need to be prepared before, during, and after a disaster. Preparation is the secret. When it comes to preparing for your business, this is a kind of a scary statistic. Just for climate change alone, they're saying by 2100, 2.4 million homes and 107,000 commercial properties are going to be at risk, just to climate change, not into other considerations. So what do you need to do? Well, first of all, you have to have an emergency plan for your business and make sure everybody knows what that plan is. You make sure that you brainstorm with your team members, and your team, if you are a single broker, your team is the people around you, the people that you work with, your lender, your title person, your home inspector. Form a team that you all can work together. Make sure you read the fine print of your insurance coverage so you know exactly what's covered. Right now, there's already lawsuits about business continuation because some policies have one kind of business continuation. Some of it's covered, some of it's not. So read your policies. Establish a crisis communication plan among your team members, among the people surrounding you, so that you know who's going to call who when it's time, and have a very comprehensive business continuity plan so that you know exactly everything is taken care of for your business so it can continue. Protect your company's data. Any tools or relationships that are important, make sure that you have backups to those tools and the relationships. If you have a supplier that you use all the time, make sure if something happens to their business that you have backup. Make sure you train everyone in first aid, and everybody knows where the first aid kit is. Have a responsibilities plan. Who is responsible for what? And then how are you going to pay your staff and contractors if your office is temporarily closed? And then very important, make sure you practice drills and everybody knows exactly what they're going to do when it comes time. The second course is all about mindset, leadership, and communication. The right mindset, strong leadership skills, and effective communication plan fosters resiliency and positive action when any disaster strikes. So resilience is a word used a lot in emergency management circles. They use it in reference to infrastructure, bridges and roads and that kind of thing. They also use resilience in community and businesses and individuals. How can they make it more resilient? How can they mitigate risk? How can they lower the risk? How can they build back better when there is something that happens? And disaster survivors and first responders will tell you that the right mindset is the most critical thing you can have when it comes to preparing, surviving, and recovering disasters. It can be the difference between surviving and not surviving, and also whether or not you recover quickly or it takes time. And how do you turn the idea of resilience into a mindset of change? Well, first of all, with preparedness, you have plans and you have the drills and things, the training that you need to have to know exactly what you need to do. So the brain doesn't have to think about it, you just react. As in a survival, resilience has everything to do with how quickly you respond and how efficiently you do so. And when it comes to recovery, how quickly you can restore or build back better. This sign, this is one of my favorite signs. This is somebody that had to evacuate their home, and it says, life not about waiting to stop for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. So life does not get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. And that is the secret to disasters. And again, as a CKM advisor, you can go out and show your community how to do that. When it comes to leadership, you can be able to talk about who should lead the team, because it may not be, if you're a broker owner, you may not be the best person to lead a crisis team. You can show how to do the practice and the skills needed to make sure that people are prepared and survive and recover. I am a John Maxwell coach, and he says leadership is not about titles, position, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. And that really is the secret to being a CKM advisor. So communication, how are you going to communicate with one another? Whether it's your families, whether it's your businesses or your communities. And the communication plan has to include preparedness, survival, and recover, all of those. And then also, how about a business crisis command center? If you have businesses in your area, you can go out and talk about, okay, these are all the things you need to have. That's all covered in the course that we provide you. Good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. And man, that is no more true than when it comes to disasters. The course covers all different kinds of disasters, and you can customize them depending upon the risk in your area. So natural, we cover fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, mud flow, landslides, storms, droughts, volcanoes, and tsunamis. When it comes to man-made, obviously pandemics, we also cover active shooters, hazard materials, chemical incidents, cybersecurity, explosions, nuclear explosions, power plants, and power outages. Those are all covered, and you can customize for your particular area which ones you want to go over. And when you do teach, it can be anywhere from a 30-minute one-on-one presentation to somebody, or it can be a small group, or you could be talking to the entire chamber or a college and helping to educate. The fourth course is all about managing insurance, mortgage, and recovery services. So under insurance, you need to look at the markets, the business, and your clients, how you can help them as a CKM advisor. Knowing your own insurance will play a good big role in how you can help others be prepared when it comes to insurance. The same is true with mortgages. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Ginnie Mae all have programs available for anybody that has a loan through them to help them when it comes to a disaster. So just being familiar with that, just think of what a benefit that would be to your clients if you can, and then you can help them. Recovery services, that's the FEMA, that's the CDC and the SBA and all of that. Nonprofits, things like American Red Cross, faith-based Salvation Army, and then don't forget you have the wonderful NAR Realtor Relief Fund, as well as one right there available in California through CAR. Again, I want to jump through real quick what you get as a CKM advisor. First of all, you have the course that you can customize. It's called How to Persevere in Troubling Times, and you can take it out to your community. The book that you can add a chapter to, When the Unthinkable Happens, Be Prepared, Be Ready, and you can become a co-author, and it makes a great marketing tool. Your toolkit you can take out and give to anybody you want that has your branding on it, that offers your community information that is over and above. Also, we're adding to the list of some information you can provide if you're going out on a listing appointment. We have marketing materials, we have flyers and that sort of thing. We provide you with ongoing education each month. You'll be getting additional education to make sure you maintain your professionalism and that you receive up-to-date information. And you can then take, like this month is on spring storms. You can put out like a newsletter or put out a article. I provide articles every month as well. You can put out too. your community that says, hey, this is spring, this is what we need to look at, this is how we prepare. The Resource Center is a huge part of where you can go to get the help. If the answer isn't there, you let us know and we'll find the answer with you. So, and then when there's a disaster, you have a whole team that supports you through the CKM advisor community. So all of those things are available to you. All you need to do is complete the certification, which is the 4 courses I just talked about, and then take the test and you become a CKM advisor. Okay, I'd like to open it up to see if there are any questions.
Okay, we have some question here. How does climate change affect disasters? That was from Mario Manzanilla is asking the question.
That is an excellent, excellent question. Well, I'm going to give you one good example of how. So last year, we had 30 named storms that came in the Southeast. That is an all-time record. We went through the entire English alphabet as well as the Greek alphabet. We had 22 disasters that hit the United States last year. And the highest record before was 2016, and that was 16. It had been averaging 14. So we added an extra third onto what the average is. So they become more intense. So the fires became more intense. The flooding becomes higher flooding. That's why the floodplain is all being looked at right now. You might be living in a home that was a medium risk or low risk that might be in high risk now because of the raise of water. So the intensity, the number of disasters, those all can stem back to climate change.
Okay, the other is, I believe it's just a comment. It says climate change exacerbates harsh weather.
Very harsh weather, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, 2020 was, not even counting the pandemic, 2020 had 6 weeks of disasters that had either never happened before or had not happened since like the 50s or the 40s. And some of them had never happened before. They had to come up with a name for it. 6 weeks in a row. So the magnitude of what's happening, but the answer, here's the good news. The good news is there is an answer to the problem. You can be a trusted advisor. You can be a solution for your community, and so you're giving back to your community, and it's helping your business all at the same time. I think it's a win-win-win-win scenario.
Okay, I have a question here from Mr. Wei Ming Lee. If I take the class to become a CKM advisor, how do I find new customers? What will be the challenge or the charge for us? Oh, okay, what will be the charge for a session or presentation?
First of all, there is no charge for you to go out and teach the course. Once you become a CKM advisor, you are, is he talking about the cost for the course through you guys?
I think so.
Okay, I misunderstood. So we have a special offer for your association. If you go onto our website, the cost to take the online course, which you can do if you want to, is $297. And through West San Gabriel Valley, we're offering the virtual course to you for just $179.
Will there be annual, this is my question, would there be annual membership dues? Or
there will be because we're doing the ongoing education, it's going to be a minimal cost. It's going to be $20 a month, or if you pay it up front, it's $99 a year. And that's just to cover the cost of the ongoing education that you receive.
Okay. And then also some classes, when you finish the course and you get the, what is it? This would be the annual. Would there also be like a one-time fee kind of thing or nothing?
No, it's just the ongoing education fee.
Okay, good. It's a very interesting topic, very interesting. And I know personally, I don't know if many of you, I have a grandson, and my daughter lives in Northern California, and the fires burned one of my grandson's friend's house. And I'm sure the little boy, I can't stop thinking about his little friend. He must be terrified, I never experienced anything in my lifetime. So I can sympathize with the families that lost their homes.
Well, the other thing that I want you to keep in mind is this course is going to teach you not just You might say, well, I've not experienced a disaster, so it's not going to happen to me. Well, the bottom line is this course is not just about natural or man-made disasters. Hopefully you'll never experience an active shooter or anything like that. However, what it does do, like for example, when it comes to safety for a realtor, this information you get in here will be very valuable for you when it comes to just your safety. But also the information that you get, you can use in your day-to-day business. So rather than it being just natural disasters, how do you handle a crisis in your office? How do you, the tools that you learn in this class are not just about, well, if there's an earthquake, or well, we've never had a bad enough earthquake that there was any damage. The adage that it's not going to happen to us. Well, unfortunately, we all are going to experience some form of disaster at some point in time in our lifetime. It's just a given. And if we think that this is the last pandemic, we need to think again. So, I mean, it's just, but the tools and the information that you receive in this is so much broader than just the natural disasters. Everybody will be able to use this and think about it. So one part of the question was, how do you get customers? Well, you can either go to your church and say, look, I have this free class I'm going to offer on how to be prepared. You can take it to your schools. If you like to teach, you can take it to the community colleges and teach it. You can offer just a virtual meeting, like with your potential clients and your old clients, saying, look, this is a gift I want to give to you. You become the person that is assisting others. So that's how you're going to draw people to you. We're giving you all the tools and things necessary. You don't need to do anything except customize it for your area. And you're going to attract clients that way. I mean, no matter whether there's a disaster in your area or not, by continuing to teach this. And it's unfortunate that people are not prepared. And just about the time you think that you don't need to be prepared is about the time you're going to find out. Ask anybody that went through the fires. Ask anybody that went through those hurricanes. And some of them have been through hurricanes for several times. And they don't think it's going to happen to them. Well, unfortunately, it does. So being prepared gives you peace of mind, makes you resilient. And you actually then want to help others. So they, like, just taking it to your family. What is that going to do for your family?
I don't have any other questions. I don't know if anyone wants to type up a question. If you have any questions for Connie, please do so at this time. And otherwise, it's been a wonderful presentation.
Thank you. So just, we'll come virtually, or if we can, we'll come live. I'm not sure, but we'll at least come virtually and do a special training just for your association. So yes. I hope people will decide that they want to join us. And at $179, I mean, it's a great gift to your community yes. and to the people around you.
And the training for that 179 is how long? How long is the class?
It's going to be about 4 hours. So it'll be like
4
a half
hours.
a day.
Okay. Yeah. It's a 4-hour class. Okay. If it is an online, it's probably going to be a break between those 4 hours, right?
Yeah, we'll take a little break between. There'll be a little bit of break. It might okay. end up being like 4.5 hours or something like that. But the training itself is about 4 hours.
Well, I think I thank you for your presentation. It's been wonderful to have you. I hope everybody enjoyed. I know they did. They're silent. That tells me a lot. You shocked them. Okay, let's see. The one last question. Is there a website we can refer to?
Yes, you can go to, it's CKM, like Mary, CKM Solutions, plural, solutionsgroup.com.
Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
And I'll turn it over to Pauline now.
Thank you so much, Connie and Sylvia. What a wonderful section. And we learned about power of preparedness. Resilience mindset is very important, especially during this pandemic situation. We are not only face the natural environment changing, we facing our mindset, our everything is changing. And we appreciate your class today. If you have any further question regarding for being a CKM advisor, please contact Connie directly. On behalf of West and Gabriel Valley Realtors, we would like to thank again Ms. Connie Myers, CKM Solutions Group, for your informative presentation to us. We hope to see you in Las Vegas or San Gabriel Valley in person soon. And our next class will be in April 13th, Tuesday at 12 noon is our commercial class. Don't miss out. Our special speaker, Phil Adam, will talk about 1031 exchange and opportunity zone. I think you won't come together to learn something new or additional information about opportunity zones. Thank you, Connie, Anna, Sylvia, Vaughn, and all of you joining today's class. We see you in April.